Trusting God in the subtraction. Sometimes God blesses us through subtraction by removing people, habits, environments, or even things we once prayed for. It hurts at first, but it's always for your elevation, clarity, and alignment. Here's 10 powerful examples of trusting God in the subtraction. Number one. When God removes people you thought would be with you forever, your response needs to be, you trust that their exit made room for protection, peace, and divine connections. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number two. When a job, opportunity, or door closes suddenly, your response needs to be, you choose to believe it wasn't rejection, it was redirection to something greater. Trusting God in the process. 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 Number three. When friendships fade without drama, just distance. Your response needs to be, you trust the separation is sacred, not personal, and your next season requires new energy. Trusting God in the separation. 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 Number four. When your plans fall apart and you're left with silence, your response needs to be, you lean into the unknown, knowing that God's plan is unfolding, even if it looks like loss. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number five. When you're stripped of everything that once defined you, your response needs to be, you trust that God is rebuilding your identity on truth, not titles or attachments. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number six. When God removes your comfort zone, your response needs to be, you stop fighting for what was and start preparing for what's coming. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number seven. When your circle gets smaller during your healing season, your response needs to be, you recognize solitude is not punishment, it's sacred space for spiritual growth. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number eight. When resources dry up, forcing you to depend on faith, your response needs to be, you understand that lack is sometimes the doorway to deeper trust and supernatural provision. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number nine. When you feel emotionally emptied out, your response needs to be, you trust that God is detoxing your heart to make space for divine overflow. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Number 10. When you lose something good and have no idea why, your response needs to be, you don't fight it. You say, God, I trust you know what I can't see. Trusting God in the subtraction. 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 Sometimes God blesses us through subtraction. Remember to speak life over your days. 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 These are 10 powerful examples of trusting God in the subtraction. When God removes people you thought would be with you forever. When a job, opportunity, or door closes suddenly. When friendships fade without drama, just distance. When your plans fall apart and you're left with silence. When you're stripped of everything that wants to find you. When God removes your comfort zone. When your circle gets smaller during your healing season. When your resources dry up, forcing you to depend on faith. When you feel emotionally empty. When you lose something good and have no idea why. Remember to speak life over your days. Speak life over your days. Truth is, sometimes subtractions isn't loss, it's alignment. God isn't taking, He's trimming for growth, clearing for blessings, and making room for what's truly yours. Remember, sometimes God blesses us through subtraction by removing people, habits, environments, or even things we once prayed for. It hurts at first, but it's always for elevation, for your elevation, and for your clarity, and for your alignment. Thanks for watching. And I hope you in your healing journey.